computer. You can find us in both channels, stream vertical line and also horizontal line. So far so good. On horizontal line, it's better to see this poster with my parasitoid wasps, which I'm studying myself, and the Institute of Zoology of National Academy of Sciences. In vertical line, it's easier to find it on smartphone because now it's a weekend time. Everyone is just laying on the bed or typing on computer, watching some movies, enjoying TVs, enjoying internet stories, maybe just watching some stories in TikTok, because TikTok is slightly or even more powerful than internet on YouTube channel, because it's entertaining platform. But I'm using platform on YouTube, so press like if you're watching me on YouTube, just send me some likes, send a smile, or just write in chat what country are you watching me. Because I wanted to start my stream daytime, but I recognize that in daytime this will be nighttime in the United States. So far, English-speaking audience in Europe, in America, in South and North America will be sleeping. So that's why I decided to tell you stories about Ukrainian beekeepers, Ukrainian beekeeping industry, about insects in Ukraine, in English language for today, for this English Beekeepers Club from Ukraine. Unfortunately, I would say that not many people in Ukraine who are beekeepers speak in English. Maybe you say yeah, I'm not right. If I'm not right, write your comment in the chat. Write your details, what you are reading, write in English. If you are listening to me, if you're understanding me, if you are English-speaking person and you are beekeeper, or if you are a biologist, write in chat, write in comments. So this will be feedback. Otherwise, many people are watching me who are just familiar with English, for example, but they are not beekeepers at all. They are not biologists. Just ordinary people just laying on the bed, scrolling telephone and watching it. Actually, yesterday I did stream not in English, but in Russian and Ukrainian languages, in both languages, but at night time. And surprisingly, many ordinary people from Northern Territories, as I say, from Palearctic region, visited my channel and were very surprised what I'm talking about insects, about entomology, about wasps, bees. We're talking about bees, about wasps. This is stream. This is stream devoted to entomology. The stream devoted to beekeeping. Stream devoted to wasps keeping. So we will be talking about wasps, about bees, about honeybees, about solitary bees, about social wasps, about solitary wasps, parasitic wasps. They're just here on this poster. These are also wasps, but very, very tiny. Just 1 millimeter size, 5 millimeter size. Small parasitoids, small parasitic wasps, which I'm studying under the microscope in my laboratory. But today is weekend time, so that's why I'm going to entertain you about Ukrainian beekeeping industry, about Ukrainian beekeepers and Ukrainian honey and Ukrainian mites, varromites, maybe trophel mites. We're expecting as well tropilepsis mites as well. Who knows? Write your country if you are visiting us from other country than Ukraine. Write your home country where you're watching us. This will be feedback to understand who is watching me. So because it's interesting to know who is writing messages in chat. If somebody is writing very stupid questions or just questions not related to entomology and beekeeping, I have a power to delete these messages and make blocking. So the person will be blocked. Don't worry about it. You can visit us later or can visit my channel as well. So I started to talk about bees, about wasps, and I'm keeping in my hands this big box with wasps. To be precise, these are hornets. These are hornets, the Latin name Vespa crabro, European hornet or common hornet, which is distributed widely in Palearctic region and even was introduced accidentally to North America. So this hornet is distributed in the United States as well. But today we will be talking about bees. Actually, as I said, not many Ukrainian beekeepers can speak English. Never mind. We're speaking Ukrainian language, their native language. And to tell you a little bit about Ukrainian beekeepers, I need to show the different journals. This journal, for example, which is called, you cannot recognize it in telephone because it's a mirror. It's reflected as in a mirror, but you can see it on my computer. These journals are named Beekeeping Circle, with face of honeybee and with this log beehive on a tree, on a fir tree. Yes, this is a mirror reflection, don't worry about it. I cannot turn my smartphone because otherwise I will not see chat. I cannot see the questions. Anyway, just you can see a picture. So this is a hive. This is a log hive on the top of tree. It's called log tree beekeeping. This journal was edited by Mr. Commissar and Dr. Commissar and Mr. Solomka and Commissar Alexander. Alexander is not with us. He's passed away 3 years ago, unfortunately. Solomka is a famous Ukrainian beekeeper and founder of this non-governmental organization, which is called the same name, Beekeeping Circle, Beekeeping Ukrainian Circle. Circle means just a circle of beekeepers, like a huge group, like a huge club of beekeepers of Ukraine, because Ukrainian beekeepers enjoy to meet together during different meetings, not so official congresses, but such friendly meetings of Beekeeping Circle. It was every year meeting of Beekeeping Circle in Ukraine. But Solomka Vasil is slightly old, became older, over 80. So you see, it's not easy for him to be editor of journal and to be very active in the beekeeping industry. So he's a little bit on pension for sure, in age over 80. But he's an expert on beekeeper industry, so he's communicating with different people, and he's writing many books. He has been writing them during the previous 20 years. And you see, this journal contains also some photographs of Ukrainian beekeepers. Our Ukrainian beekeepers are practical workers who is working with honeybees, who is beekeeping farms in Ukraine. And beekeeping farms in Ukraine are different. There are some small farms, middle-sized, and big commercial farms. By the way, this is Vasil Solomka. I have met him for sure several times in Ukraine, and also we have visited several international congresses altogether. We have met together in international congress in Apimondia, in Ukraine, in Kiev, in 2013. We have met in Apislavia, in Turkish Republic, in Uludenitz or Mughla in 2015. And also we have met in international congress in Istanbul, in Turkish Republic, in 2017, I guess. So he is famous internationally in different countries because he's very good expert on different aspects of Ukrainian beekeeping. He was editor of this journal for sure. You can recognize here, for example, here this is a flag, one just kind of official flag, which was used by beekeeping circle, like military, like non-governmental organization, but some looks like a military organization with special flag. But this is traditional. And in this journal, this journal was very carefully edited by scientific editor, Dr. Commissar, who was a scientist and a researcher. And here were published many different interesting, very useful, valuable articles about Ukrainian beekeeping, Ukrainian beekeepers, honeybees, methods of controlling varroa mites, about Ukrainian honeybees, about races of honeybees, and so far so good. For example, here, some examples of journal with this journal with so beautiful, how like a church, like a small church, which built, and this apiary is built in Carpathian, in the western region of Ukraine. And these are small nucleuses for queen bee breeding. Nucleuses, this one. And this is big, so artistic style of beehive, or from one beekeeping farm in Carpathian region near western border of Ukraine. Someone is asking us to tell us about Asian giant hornet, but you didn't answer my question about what country are you coming from. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Chukrashvili. Probably you're from Georgia. Thank you for coming. And if you're thinking that some Ukrainian beekeepers not speak English, of course you will be not right, because some Ukrainian beekeepers are familiar with English. My good friend, Dr. yet, Mr. Gornish, Mykola Gornish, he published this it's not journal, this is a small book of 100 pages with list of beekeeping terms, and this book is English-Ukrainian explanatory dictionary of beekeeping terms. What means in Ukrainian, in English, foundation, honeybee, escape board, cleaning board, dummy, for example, brood circulation, what is brood circulation, bloom on bee wax, and so far so good. Different terms are explained here and listed in this book of Mykola Gornish. He published it just recently in December of last year, 2024. So, and he's distributed it through his web page. I will give you just later in description of this video his web page, so you can watch it partially online. These terms, Ukrainian English explanatory dictionary, and part of the terminology published here in hard form. As I said about Apimondia, for example, one another journal is Ukrainian Beekeeper. This journal devoted to Apimondia in 2013. About meeting in Ukraine in 2013. Of course, I cannot tell you too much about all Ukrainian beekeepers because quite many of them. So every journal during previous 10 years, every 2 months published this photo album of Ukrainian beekeepers 6 times per year. So it's considered that in Ukraine, probably 400,000 beekeepers, maybe less. Now, military situation, maybe at least 200,000 beekeepers in Ukraine. But if it will be even 100,000 beekeepers in Ukraine, it's a huge number. As I said, majority of beekeepers were keeping small size beekeeping farms from 20 up to 30 or 50 or up to 100 beehives. And big commercial beekeepers are considered to be if they have over 100 beehives. And some, as we can say, pretty rich beekeepers were owners of over 1,000 beehives themselves. So we have even some, they employed some employee who is taking care about this huge number of beehives. So, and actually during previous years, in the latest maybe 5 years, Ukraine was on the top of 5 countries with honey production, with production over 60,000 tons of honey just abroad for import. Even in this year, officially it was considered that Ukraine again took the 3rd place in honey production, which was exported from Ukraine to Europe. But I'm not quite sure about it, actually, to be honest, because so difficult economic and military situation in Ukraine. So this will probably little bit exaggeration to keep a good mind of beekeepers, to make them stronger, to make society stronger, and believe in ourselves, rather than to be in a depression because of all these huge military troubles and all human being losses and our army losses and all situation with with a lot of casualties. But Ukraine was on the top, in the top of number 3. So this, nevertheless, beekeepers are producing very well. I mean, during this season, despite very hot summer, so some of them are happy about their production, but they are not very much happy about price of Ukrainian honey, which they sell it in big amounts just for traders. Because if we sell it for traders, we can sell just 1,000 kilos altogether for one or several traders. That's why the traders are buying this 1,000 kilos or liters for very cheap price. Cheap price is about $1.5 per 1 liter or 1 kilos. And then they resell it from Ukraine to Germany, to France, to Poland, to other European countries. And Ukrainian beekeepers not very happy because price for 1 kilo, $1.5 actually is very cheap because price of feeding liquid, for example, feeding, which can be used for honeybees, like sugar, it's very high, just $1. This is the price for 1 kilo of sugar in Ukraine at the present moment. And $1 is just approximately the same. $1, 1 kilo of sugar. So that's why productivity depends from a lot of different efforts. The most expensive honey, this is Manuka honey. Manuka honey from New Zealand, and also some very special honey from Nepal. From Nepal, very color, which is collected in a very small amounts. Nepal with some effect on neural system, because it's collected from on flowers of rhododendron flowers, and some very expensive honey is produced also in some northern areas in mountains of Turkish Republic. Also, if I know from literature, some sorts of Turkish honey are very, very expensive because they're very naturally collected in such kind of log hives or just in some caves. in natural conditions without any additional feeding, and so far so good. They have very good quality. Someone asks about hornets. I can say that this is European hornet. You're familiar about it. Maybe you are fighting with what if you are living somewhere in Europe or in America. Hornets are very active. But I would say that in Europe there is another hornet which is more important. And this hornet is yellow-legged hornet, which is sitting here in my collection. This is Vespa velutina hornet, yellow-legged hornet, which is smaller. You can recognize this carefully. They're nearly the same size, slightly smaller, and have a different coloration. Now, in Europe already 4 species of Vespa have been recorded, because Vespa crabro, this is native species. Then Vespa orientalis came to France from Mediterranean region. Vespa orientalis, or just oriental species, oriental hornet. Vespa sonora came from Southeast Asia, and Vespa velutina, number 4, came from Southeast Asia. This is Vespa velutina. Vespa velutina is more aggressive hornet, already widely distributed in France, in Spain, in North Italy, and coming to other countries as well, regularly, like United Kingdom. It was recorded in Essex, in United Kingdom. I have some boxes. Someone asking me to show Oriental hornet. I have this one. This is Oriental hornet. Not, I mean, not so Oriental, Asian. Giant Asian hornet. Giant Asian hornet, which is bigger than small Asian hornet. And this is Vespa mandarina. And small one, this is a honeybee. So you can recognize how small is honeybee, how big is giant Asian hornet, or in United States is considered as killer hornet. Of course, I'm not sure that he's can be called as a killer hornet, because even a bee can be killer bee. Some Africanized bees in Texas are also, or Arizona, the killer bees, because they're very aggressive. If they sting you in unpleasant place like tongue or throat, it can be very dangerous because of possible suffocation, just accidentally, just in your lips, your cheeks, throat, tongue. Very dangerous place with sting. If you can be stung. We're not so dangerous. We're not so dangerous, but they can have very important effect on beekeeping. This one is dangerous at the present moment more than any others, small Asian hornet, because small Asian hornet is hunting for honeybees in Europe, in France, and because this is invasive species, not native species. And giant Asian hornet is also not native species and can be invasive species if it will be adapted to such areas as Europe or United States of America, or maybe Central America. If it can be introduced accidentally, or it can be introduced by special purpose, who knows, with some logistics from Southeast Asia. Because all these 2 species have been already recorded practically in United States. Small species, yellow-legged hornet Vespa velutina has been recorded already in state Georgia 2 years ago. 2 big nests have been destroyed by USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. And this giant Asian hornet, Vespa mandarina, couple hornets' nests have been found and destroyed near the border of Canada and United States, near the city of Washington, near Washington, D.C. But almost everyone specimen has been destroyed or not yet. Maybe some can survive, who knows? Especially for this small one, because small one is very adaptable. First of all, it's very adaptable because if species from another continent come into new place of living, this species showed his very huge adaptability, very plasticity, adaptability to different conditions. This species can survive everywhere practically, where temperature can allow for female, for wasp, for hornet queen survive. Everywhere she can survive, and everywhere she can make a new nest. Our European hornet, this one, is usually hiding from human beings, from animals. Hiding because it doesn't like to be visible. Hiding somewhere in the nest of some opossums or some animals under the ground, or maybe under the roof of your apartment. But Vespa velutina can make nest or in open way, just on balcony, just near the children's playground, just on the roof, just inside building, inside your garage, inside your car in springtime, if you can find just small exit, how to enter to car, which will be standing for a couple months and parking lot and making a nest, huge one, huge nest, even inside car on parking lot. Also, this species making very big colonies. There are several popular French beekeepers and hornet hunters are making destruction of the nests in France. So one of them sent me these specimens for educational purposes and for showing for my students. So these hornets came as dry and dead from France, so they have no danger for Ukraine. But if they can come to Ukraine, the danger can be huge, because at the present moment, this Vespa velutina achieved already the territory of Germany, the territory near the Frankfurt, the territory near the bank of a Baltic Sea. Next step will be, could be just Slovenia, Romania, Poland, Ukraine, and other northern territories, because there are several publications, scientific publications about adaptability of this species. As I said, it's very plasticity of behavior is very huge, and in temperature it's suitable because of warming effect during winter. So the territories with warm climate in western parts and southern parts of Ukraine are comfortable already for this species of hornet. So this hornet can survive in the areas of Nikolaev, Kherson district, in Crimea, the Carpathian region, near Poland, in Poland as well. So who knows, how can we predict this species can come to Ukraine and other northern countries or not? Who knows? It depends from temperature, it depends from biology of species, depends from survival of the species. The same for this big giant hornet, which is bigger, and actually in Southeast Asia, big giant hornet, this is a predator on small Asian hornet. So small Asian hornet cannot survive because limiting factor, this is a giant hornet, which is usually distributed in less amount, but this wolf is controlling the sheep, controlling these small sheep. But in Europe, no other species which can control this dangerous hornet. So, and Vespa velutina does not make any visible competition with European hornets. They can make the same nests in the same place under the same roof. So that's why appearance of new species is a dangerous process. The next species was found just recently this year, Vespa sonora. This species is black color, Vespa velutina, but Vespa sonora has a yellow reddish color of abdomen. But also distributed in Southeast Asia, in Vietnam, Cambodia. So that's why maybe it can be adapted only to Spain, but can come to southern areas of France, Italy, who knows? Invasion of such not native species, which is called accidental introduction, can be dangerous for beekeeping industry and also for human beings' health, because hornets are can be aggressive near their nest, just by case. Today I wanted to tell you some stories also about mites. So I can show you here some collection of my honeybees, Ukrainian honeybees, and also some combs. Here these big bees, these are wild bees, Andrena bees, and these are small queen bees or honeybees, Apis mellifera. These are drones, and these are queen cells. These are Vespa germanica, German wasps, German ground wasps. And here some hornets, Vespa germanica, this one. Hornets, and here some solitary wasp family, Scoliidae, or mammoth wasps with name Megascolia maculata. Let's read a little bit about mites, because for majority of people, most important about how to protect honeybees from diseases, how to protect them from viral diseases, biological diseases, and again, how to protect them from mites. And mites are several species which are distributed in Ukraine. Possibly one species can come soon, or maybe it's already appeared, but nobody knows yet. It's not confirmed. For sure, the most important, this is varroa mite. So for our beekeeping lesson, I can read a little bit about mites. And number 3 mite, this is a Tropilelaps mite. Some beekeepers reported about possible appearance of Tropilelaps mite in Ukraine, but nobody knows is it reliable finding or not. I have not seen yet this mite, which is very special one. Common mite, this is a varroa mite, and disease varrotosis. Tropilelaps is currently found in Asia in some northern territories like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenia, and there are some reports that it was introduced to northern territories from Uzbekistan and Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, to some other areas, fortunately not Ukraine. But some small colonies are sold from these areas to another country, to northern country. So that's why there are some reports about the appearance of tropililabs in this area. And there are some scientific publications about it. And first of all, we say tracheal mites. Everyone heard about tracheal mites in bees, but nobody probably have seen them because tracheal mites are very, very tiny. They're like dust mites. I have showed many dust mites, Acaridae, Acarus siro, in my video, but this species is called Acarapis woodii, and very tiny, approximately less than 1.3 millimeter, approximately 0.3 millimeter size. And they're living inside tracheas, breathing system of honeybees. That's why they're practically invisible. It needs to cut and make dissection of honeybees under the microscope to recognize it. There are different mite-related disorders. 2 health disorders or syndromes have been recognized in honeybees. These are the following. Parasitic mite syndrome was first described in early 2000s, and in spring 2007 in the United States, colony collapse disorder, CCD, became a paramount concern for beekeepers in the United States. There are some possible similar behavioral events have been recorded by some beekeepers in Ukraine, but nobody didn't make such kind of precise and very correct diagnosis about colony collapse disorders. There are different symptoms of these syndromes. Honeybee parasitic mite syndrome. Symptoms are different from colony collapse disorder. With parasitic mite syndrome, at least some adult bees, alive or dead, were remaining in dead colony. The colony survived the winter and only dying in the springtime. This is parasitic mite syndrome. The adults perish while still in cluster. Although the cluster size and number of adults are very small. In colony collapse disorder, colonies dying in the fall or early spring, and there is almost total lack of adult honeybee bodies. So it means honeybees like disappearing. You come into a beehive and cannot find anything, anyone, just only few young bees maybe. In both symptoms, brood and stored honey and pollen are usually still present in the dead colony, ruling out starvation as the cause of death. So you see, some honey is still presented in the colony, but colony disappeared or just colony died. Someone asking about wasp attack. Yes, wasp can attack if you just can be walking nearby the colony. So if we can recognize you as a threat, so you cannot say you are threat or not threat for colony. If hornets or small wasps can think that you are threat, if you have black coloration of your clothes, they can attack you just accidentally or with special purpose for colony protection. let's talk a little bit about biology of colony bee and about some mites. I can tell you a little bit, maybe about honeybee tracheal mites. As I said, usually beekeepers have not seen them at all because they're very small. So that's why we can talk at least theoretically about it. If I have some mites in my hands, in new season I can try to show them under the microscope. But it needs still very careful preparation and dissection, because dissection of living body needs very careful observation and very careful dissection. An interesting question came from Dr. Dan, by the way. He's asking, regarding varroa mites or destructor mites, how long can a varroa mite survive in a hive without a host? This hasn't in our discussion. I can say, for instance, in Ukraine, there is a special technology of isolation of queen bee. I don't have this book of my friend, because Vladimir Malekhin, Ukrainian beekeeper, he is proposing special technique of isolation of queen bee for winter time, just to prevent appearance of brood in a colony during early springtime or even just in the middle of winter if it's a warm time. Isolation can prevent appearance larvae, so during December, January, February, March, 4-5 months, colony can have no brood at least during 4 or 5 months during the winter season. And queen, it's proposed to keep queen in small isolation cages, like this one cage, or like in a big plate, the same as a foundation plate, but narrow plastic cage. So isolated queen is fed by actually by honeybees around, but because she is isolated, she cannot make egg laying in cells. So that's why no brood during even early springtime. Spring is coming with normal temperature and with sunshine. Isolator is open and queen start the egg laying behavior. So at least I guess 4-5 months can be enough to prevent infestation by varroa mite, just using this isolators. We call it in Ukraine Dr. Khmara isolators, who first proposed it maybe about 20 years ago, this technique. So Dr. Khmara published 2 books about it in Ukraine, and his follower, Vladimir Malekhin, he is using it, and he's teaching other people to follow this technology, to make isolators, to isolate queen bee during winter time, to prevent egg laying behavior of queen bee. But of course, some beekeepers are very worried about it, because it has some risks. If you make isolation of queen during winter time, sometimes everything can happen, because the cluster can move a little bit around. Cluster cannot cover sometimes queen, and queen cannot survive sometimes and die during winter. Possible, but he's proposing also to make additional queens, several such cages. So like a kind of a queen bees bank. Several queens can be kept all together in small cages, just in one hive. So they are not competition during winter time, but they are working by cluster of a strong colony for sure, not very small one. but stone colony can keep it warm. Cluster can gather all these queens. So that's why he proposed to use additional queens for cases if queen cannot survive during winter by because of different reasons. Anyway, come back to honeybee tracheal mite. Honeybee tracheal mite is one of the 3 closely related Acarapis species. Acarapis woodii is the most important. Acarapis woodii lives exclusively inside the tracheal or breathing system of adult honeybees. The condition is termed acariosis or acarina disease. As I said, size is about 0.3 millimeters, very tiny like dust mites, or even 0.2 millimeters. I can show, you can recognize this tiny acaridae mites. Or you can see them on my videos as well. 2 other species of Acarapis occur externally on the bee exoskeleton, and they are not considered harmful. So just most important, Acarapis woodii, which is penetrating the body of honeybees and living inside breathing system. Tracheal mites are tiny, oval, whitish in color, as all mites. Life cycle is the following. Newly emerged female trachea mites exit the tracheal tube of adult honeybee host and crawl on the top of bee body hairs, where it gets a newly emerged drone of or another preferred host. So this is a special migration of tracheal mites. From tracheals, mites are coming to nearly the head and waiting for new guests, for new drones or the workers. During new workers, especially worker bee, which young worker bee lives when 3 days age. Even some queen bees can be invaded by these tiny tracheal mites, which are coming out of tracheals and moving on the body on hairs of workers. A female mite, Acarapis woodii, enters the tracheal tube of new host, the one of thoracic spiracles, tiny small holes of tracheas are called spiracles on the body of honeybees, worker or queen bee. Female of mite begins to produce eggs that are almost equal to her size, and female lay 1 egg in a day during 8-12 days. And eggs of tracheal mites hatch in 3-4 days into larvae and then pass to nymphal stage, and they need then 11 or 21 days to become an adult, 21 days for full cycle. Female of tracheal mite and immature mites were living as parasites within tracheal tubes, puncturing the tracheal wall to feed on bee hemolymph. So they're feeding like on the blood of honeybees. The blood of honeybees is called hemolymph. Tracheal mite populations vary seasonally. When colonies are populous and resources are abundant, infestation level is lower. Low levels of infestation make it more difficult to detect mites. And infestation rates over 30% have been correlated with reduced worker healthfulness. Less efficient worker activity and for a colony, decreased honey production and low winter survival. Upon initial introduction into the United States, many colonies died from mite infestation, particularly in more northern apiarist sites. It's quite interesting to see about symptoms of tracheal mites. Symptoms of tracheal mites are subtle and include dwindling bee population, weak bees crowding in front of the hive, crowding, very slowly crowding bees near hive, and a condition known as a key-size, key-form wing adults. When adult bee wings are normally folded, one wing over another, covering the top of abdomen, with heavy tracheal mite infestation, the adult wings remain partially open in the shape of letter key, in a key pattern. So wings are not open in a full way. These are quite non-specific indication for infestation and may indicate another disease, including virus conditions. So there are some damages of wings. It can be either tracheal mite or virus infestation disease. And of course, second species, well-known mite, this is a varroa mite, varroa destructor, which is famous worldwide, which came already to New Zealand, which came recently to Australia, despite all preventions. Who knows how it is going later in Australia and New Zealand, how people can control it. Regarding mites, most ways of control, this is a chemical control. And what about non-chemical control? This can be used some organic chemicals. Organic chemicals includes formic acid, oxalic acid, hop guard formulation, acetic acid, some essential oils such as thymol. We use in Ukraine some preparation based on thymol, for example, thymol oil, which actually were very smelly, slightly disgusting smell during use of this preparation with thymol. There are some stimulants. In the States, these are Honeybee healthy. Some alternative compounds can be used. Honeybee healthy, feeding stimulants with essential oils. There are also some preparations like saccharoside, and prevention method can be used as a powdered sugar or using different other dusts to avoid varroa mites. But this is a long story to tell you about these methods. Maybe I can tell you about it next time. For entertaining you as wider audience, which is connected with honeybees or not connected with honeybees, I show you a little bit some other insects, just to show you collection of entomologists, because not all beekeepers are entomologists and not all entomologists are beekeepers. I show you, for example, how to show you. This is a box with my hornets. And these are boxes with some insects in cages. We call it deer bee or stag beetle. Ukrainian deer bee. You see here, this is a nest of hornet, stag beetle, Lucanus cervus. Actually, pretty rare species, which is widely distributed in Europe and in Palearctic region. Hello, Victor. My great pleasure. What city are you come from? Greetings to Ukraine. I'm actually also from Ukraine because I'm making this stream online from Kyiv, capital of Ukraine, to spread knowledge about Ukrainian beekeeping industry, about Ukrainian honeybees and Ukrainian beekeepers for a wider audience. That's why I'm speaking English and communicate with English audience in English. Silvachny. What is your home city? Write in comments and press like if you like our stream. So this is a collection of stag beetle, which is actually in a red book of protected species, but it was collected as dead specimen. Some entomologists have small or big collections of different insects. I have not very big collection. Okay, next. Viewer also from Ukraine. Very good. For example, this Vinica, greetings to Vinica. Don't worry, you can use Google Translator. You can Google Translator. Or at least you can write small comments. This is also good training. Your reading and writing skills are also quite useful. After reading and writing, you can develop listening skills to understand it, listening, and then you can develop your speaking skills. So you can write next time, I'm trying to speak better English. Okay, I already explained for sometimes. I'm trying to speak more slowly, like a tape recorder, like some Chinese students said for their English teacher. We have native English teacher. This is our native English tape recorder. We don't need to switch on computer. We can listen to our teacher. And teacher, this is a tape recorder because he or she can repeat it several times. Greetings to Kharkiv. My great pleasure to see other subscribers, visitors from Kharkiv. Hello, Artyom. I show now just collection of insects in my entomological collection. This is giant peacock moth, Saturnia piri. I'm from Ukraine, from Kyiv. I'm a researcher, I'm entomologist. So you can see here picture of insects. I'm studying small parasitic wasps, and I have also publications about beekeeping. And also I have several publications in international journals. I have visited several international beekeeping congresses in Ukraine, in Turkish Republic, and presented also in Korea, and published in English journals in the United Kingdom. I'm doing entomology. I'm studying taxonomy, species diversity, the diversity, how many species of these tiny parasitic wasps. You know, for example, how many bees in Ukraine. Some people saying, save bees in Ukraine, saying, save Apis mellifera bees. But how many species of bees? This is a box with honeybees and also with solitary bees. In Ukraine, there is one most important bee. This is Apis mellifera in Latin language. and also 800 species of native solitary and colonial and solitary and social bees. The level of asociality is different in bees. The most important economically, this is a honeybee, but other 800 species of wild bees are distributed in Ukraine. 800. 800 species of native species of wild bees are distributed in Ukraine. One is most common species of wild bees, which is used, and solitary bee. This is Osmia bees and Megascolia bees, which are named leaf-cutting bees or mason bees. Small bees, a little bit smaller than honeybees, and they are not stinging a little bit. Some people are making special big hotels using reed stems or some other stems or just wood, dead wood or branches of wood to make big hotels for solitary bees like mason bees, including genus Osmia, Osmia rufa, Osmia cornuta, Megascolia rotundata. These are native species for Ukraine, and many other species which are living in a wild, we are living in a nature. So remember this number, 800 wild species of bees. It was indicated by Ukrainian entomologist experts on apidologists who are working in Ukraine. A famous apidologist, this is a Professor Vladimir Radchenko. He's director of Institute of Evolutionary Ecology. He published his papers describing many species of different solitary bees, social bees, and he describes the phenomenon of asociality in bees. And so he indicated in his publication, together with his authors, about 800 species of wild bees in Ukraine. But these are just only honeybees, and some here, which here, Andrena bees, genus Andrena. Our follower Artyom is saying that breed of my bees are Carpathian. Good. What kind of insects I can show you again? I can show you a little bit more collection of some bees, but friends of honeybees. These are friends honeybees. These are hawk moths, death-head hawk moth, Семетелик мертва голова. Самец та самочка. С операцией крыльев. This is Latin name Acherontiatropos. And one small with some damaged wings, some genetical aberration, just genetical disease, didn't eat very well, but made metamorphosis and died very quickly. But these are death-head moth, Acherontiatropos. I have another specimen. I'll show you. Wait a minute. Another box. I need to open it because it's closed quite toughly. Have you seen Acherontia death-head moth in a wild or in apiary? I guess no. Maybe you never seen this moth before, only book or in internet. You see here, This is deathhead moth, this one. And this is another species, family Noctuidae, and this is family Lycinidae. Some beekeepers are considering that these moths, hawk moths, were pests of honeybees because they can steal little bit honey. But I guess this is a huge myth that they are dangerous. We can steal honey, but we can steal a little bit honey, not too many, just half of very tiny teaspoon. At least you can imagine moth is big, but even if she's hungry, she's stealing it once. She's stealing it from beehive, and if she can find a way out, she can escape. But you say, why honeybees allow hawk moth to enter the beehive? From one side, this is a miracle, you say. They're coming and thousands of bees are not worried about this huge intruder, deathhead moth. One individual can come inside. Initially, entomologists saying that female is coming or male is coming and making a special noise, small noise like a buzzing, like piping, like a piping queen. So it can be considered that bees don't worry about this piping new queen. But this is not a queen, this is a hawk moth, which is coming at night time inside beehive with big open entrance. But I guess that the most important, this is a smell. Very nice smell of pheromone, of some chemical substances of a body. Now I cannot smell anything, only heating. But obviously that big night moths, they have a special smells, males and females. And they can enter beehive and they smell like honeybees. They smell like queens, allow them to enter beehive and can steal a little bit honey. And we have very strong mouthparts. It's very funny. We have a strong mouthparts like needle, like a strong needle, and very short mouthparts, which is strange because many hawk moths they have a very long proboscis, long mouthparts. But this moth has a short, quite a short mouth, proboscis, which is called proboscis. And if if this deathhead moth are sitting on comb, on honeybee foundation with already comb with honey, she can penetrate the cell with wax. She can penetrate the wax cup to enter the cell to find honey. So probably she can use this strong and hard proboscis to take honey out of cell. If she's hungry, she can do it, or male can do it as well. Here, this is a big one, this is a female, and small one, this is a male. And here, big one, big female of deathhead moth named Acherontia atropos. Did you like it? Have you seen it? Бачили таких гарненьких метеликів? Артем, Вітася, бачили таких гарненьких метеликів? Ну, я вважаю, що, мабуть, ніколи не бачили, тому що вони дуже рідкісні. Дуже рідкісні. Але вони, but they cannot survive in Ukraine because they cannot survive temperature below 510 Celsius. They cannot survive cold ground. Метелик, мертва голова. Це метелик, мертва голова. Бражник. Бражник. Метелик, мертва голова. З різними абераціями окрасом задніх крил. Тут одна полоса, а здесь дві полоски. Це самець, це самочка. А це маленьке хворе самочка. Маленький хворий спісімен. Хворий метелик. Можу ще показати вам. They live in the nature, they live in the nature, Mediterranean region. Метелики мертва голова прилітають до України з Африки, із Турції, із Середземноморського регіону. І долітають до Києва, до Чернігова, але це вони не зловлені природного, тому що це треба мати світлу ловушку. Зараз заборонено ловити на світ. Це метелики, вирощені в лабораторній культурі на штучному середовищі. They were bred in laboratory on artificial diet, like on porridge. With artificial diet, little bit. In summertime, they can be bred on leaves of lilac and pear tree. Влітку можна гусені викормити на листві груші, тому що назва на груші можна виростити оцього грушового павліноглазку. Груша, а на цього на сирені. А взимку на штучному середовищі. Також робиться штучне середовище, як каша. І гусені викормлюються кашею. Це екземпляри мені прислав Макага із Чернігова. Привіт, Олег! Привіт, Олег! Показую гарненьких метеликів. In my next stream, I will show you caterpillars. Caterpillars of these moths and others. So wait for next stream. Maybe tomorrow, who knows? Maybe in Russian, in Ukrainian, in English language altogether. And I promised you to show you just one insect more. You can see here some strange insects. Who is this? These are also insects from tropics. These are moths came from Chernigov. And these moths, these tiny stick insects, these are called stick insects. They came from Philippines. They came from Philippines, Luzon, island Luzon. These are very nice stick insects. It looks like mantids, but they are stick insects. They are phytophagous, feeding on plants. And these are diving beetle. This is a diving beetle, male of diving beetle, Daitis marginalis. Male of Daitiscus marginalis. And these are very funny stick insects. Unfortunately, they didn't survive, but they lay eggs. So maybe if new generation coming from eggs in springtime, and it will be some plants, young generation cannot survive, can survive, because I may have some food for them. Otherwise, I don't have a greenhouse to feed them during the whole winter and cold springtime. Only in green springtime, I can feed them with some plants from outside of my home and laboratory. So this is also artificially bred in containers, and very funny home pet for entomologists and for beekeepers as well. If you are devoted biologist, sometimes you may have interesting home pets. That's why I showed you some other insects to show that not only honeybee can be home pet. And you know this, but you may have hawk moth as a home pet, or giant peacock moth home pet. And you can breed caterpillars. Caterpillars will come to make transformation, pupation. And after caterpillar, you can collect pupae and receive adults and observe the whole process metamorphosis to enjoy transformation from caterpillar into adult, into pupa, and from pupa into adult. And this is a great fun. I have 3 live pupa of dead moth in the stock. Caterpillars just pupated few weeks, maybe a couple of weeks, no, maybe 1 week. So I expect that after maybe a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, new adults can come from my pupa. So I will record them on video as well, and I will feed them with honey. They feed on honey. Actually, as I said, this deathhead moth can eat about half of teaspoon. I make a special feeding container, and I gave it to adults, and they open their proboscis, and I fed them with honey. And I showed it on my video on my channel. So if you check my videos, you can find some stories about this moth. And during these stories, I'm showing you living adults and also process of feeding, which is great fun because you need to use a stick to open mouth parts. This is a special tricky process, very funny one. And I can use just simply wooden stick to open my mouth parts, and also can keep this moth just sitting on finger and feeding with honey. So it's very funny, very pleasant, interesting, and entertaining pet. If you need some pets like that, you can write your comments under this video. Якщо вам подобаються такі гарненькі домашні тваринки, такі як метелики, можете написати в коментарях. Можу дати вашу адресу, якщо ви бажаєте купувати лялечку або метелика такого, бражника, мертва голова або іншого бражника, та вивезти з лялечки такого метелика себя вдома взимку, я могу переслать ваше общение моему другу Олегу, который содержит дома живую коллекцию метеликов «Мертвая голова» и вирощує їх гусеней на штучному середовищі, навіть взимку. Якщо він буде мати гусеней, а потім лялечок, він може вислати новою почтою вам лялечок або от таку колекцію, як тут, за ваше... Как ви договоритесь? Це ваша вже буде справа. Якщо бажаєте мати такого метелика, пишіть в коментарях. Не забывайте, мы с вами розмовляємо, ставить лайки и ставить также там смайлики, чтобы была видна реакция. немножко видео, двигаете, показываете другим. И не забывайте, если кто зашел в первый раз, подписываться на канал. Subscribe to my channel. If you visit us time, subscribe to my channel. Press like and subscribe to my channel. And also you can visit my Patreon page if you are in another country, or you can visit my Monobanka if you are in Ukraine. Вы можете также посетить Монобанку, если вы в Украине, для спонсорства, или нажать на кнопочку спонсорства, которая есть на первой страничке канала, и быть спонсором. И увидите, есть разные, целую серию видео, которые открыты только для спонсоров. Только для спонсоров. Они помечены зелененьким шрифтом, и их не видят другие, тот, кто не спонсор. Если будет больше спонсоров, будет больше видео, более интересных и немножко секретненьких видео про науку, про фонды, про гранты, про публикации, про международные научные конференции, про научные публикации в зарубежных журналах, про поездки в научные конференции и про методы сбора различных интересных комах. Так что подписывайтесь на канал, а я вам буду показывать разных интересных насекомых из различных частей света. И немножко будем разговаривать о пчеловодстве, о энтомологии, о науке. И о пчелах, которые полезны, и о разных насекомых, которые иногда немножко вредные. Задавайте вопросы про вредных насекомых, буду отвечать вам на ваши коментарі про шкідливих комах. Дякую за увагу для тех, кто с Украины. Всем привет из Киева, столицы Украины. С вами был Dr. Victor Fursov, entomologist, beekeeper teacher. Thank you for your attention. Press like, write your comments, and ask your questions in comments below my video. And don't forget to subscribe. And best greetings from Kyiv, capital of Ukraine. See you soon in my next stream in one of 3 languages, or in different languages. In English, in Ukrainian, and in Russian. Welcome to my channel. You can find many interesting, surprising video under the microscope with different mites, insects, and also about beekeeping, about travels, about other countries, in Europe, in America, in Asia, many things which quite interesting. I uploaded on my channel. Enjoy. Good luck. See you soon on my channel. Bye bye. See you soon in next stream. Thank you for your attention. Best greetings from Kyiv, capital of Ukraine. Don't forget to subscribe. Артем, you didn't say what. Артем не написав. Де ви маєте? Артем з Харкова. Привет Харькову. Привет, Артем. Ставь лайки, подписывайся на канал. Не написав, скільки вуликів ти маєш? How many beehives do you have? Можеш поставити мені приватне сообщение, якщо маєш вулики і маєш бджіл, на мою електронну почту, або написати приватное сообщение в Фейсбуке, которое может быть более секретным, чем здесь открыто. Якщо маєш якесь приватне запитання. Побалакаємо про бджіл. До побачення. Thank you for your attention. See you soon on my channel. See you next stream, which will come. The sooner, the better, maybe tomorrow. Good luck. Best greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. Bye-bye. Good luck.